Good morning, children. This is my second period in your class. I have already discussed about the nomenclature of coordination compound. Now I will discuss isomerism. You have studied isomers in class 10. You know the meaning of isomerism. Isomerism means when any element is having or any compound is having same molecular formula but different structural formula, that is known by the name of isomers, and the phenomenon is known by the name of isomerism. There are two types of isomerism. One which is known by the name of stereoisomerism. These stereoisomerism is not now included in your syllabus, but for your information, it is of a two type. One which is known by the name of geometrical isomerism, and second which is known by the name of optical isomerism जो है. The second one is known by the name of structural isomerism. There are four types of structural isomerism. First is called linkage isomerism. Linkage isomerism. This isomerism depends upon the linkage of any ligand with that of a central matter in the coordination entity, and this is particularly done in the case of ambident ligands. Like ambident ligands are those ligands I have already explained which have two sites for attachment, HCN and CS, cyanato, thiocyanato, NO2, ONO, nitro, nitrito. So the isomer is formed on the basis of linkage. Let me take one example. Suppose there is a compound CONH3 NO2. In this compound, the linkage is through the nitrogen, and this compound is red in color. Now, the isomer of this compound is formed, that is CO NH3 and this is yellow in color. So these are having same molecular formula, but if we see the structure, their structure is entirely different. So this isomerism is known by the name of linkage isomerism. The second one is known by the name of coordination isomerism. You know that the square bracket which is used for the formation of complexes in coordination compound are known by the name of coordination sphere. Now, if suppose there are two coordination spheres, in one cobalt is linked to ammonia and in other the chromium is linked to cyanide. This is one compound. Both of them are present in the coordination sphere. Now suppose the exchange of ligands takes place. The cobalt is bonded with CN and the chromium is bonded with ammonia. This will be isomer of this compound. There is a exchange of ligands in the coordination spheres. There is a exchange of ligands in that of a coordination sphere. So this type of isomerism is called coordination isomerism, where it is formed by the exchange of ligands. The third type of isomerism is known by the name of ionization isomerism. Ionization isomerism. Suppose there is a compound CO NH3 SO4 Br. You know this is coordination entity. This is coordination sphere in which all the ligands are present and they will act as a single entity, and there is a Br is acting as a counter ion. This will be acting as a potential ligand. Potential ligand. Someone has asked me about the potential ligand. The ligand which can be exchanged, the ligand which can be displaced by that of a other ligand. That is known by the name of potential ligand. In this case, Br is acting as a potential ligand. This is first compound. The isomer of it will be CO NH3 5 Br SO4. Br has displaced SO4 and there is a formation of second compound that has been taken place. There is a exchange of Br and SO4, and this ionization isomerism that can be verified by one test. That is the test with silver nitrate and that of a barium chloride. In the first case, when the test of this compound is done by adding silver nitrate is added in both of these compounds, in the first compound there will be formation of brown or pale yellow precipitate which will not be found in that of a second case. Which will not be found in that of a second case. In the second case, when barium chloride is added, there will be formation of white precipitate which is not formed in that of a first case. So, these can be tested. This type of isomers are known by the name of ionization isomers. These ionization isomers can be formed by the exchange of, by the displacement of a ligand. Initially, the counter ion in the second case is acting as a ligand. So there is a formation of white precipitate and pale yellow precipitate in this case. The fourth one is known by the name of solvate isomerism. This solvate isomerism is also known by the name of hydrate isomerism. It is depending upon solvent molecule. Whether the solvent molecule is directly attached to that of a central matter is not. Whether the exchange of this solvent molecule is taking place, because it depends upon the exchange of solvent molecules that is only being present as a ligand in the coordination entity. Now, suppose there is a compound which is known by the name of CO H2O6 Cl2. Suppose there is a compound CO H2O6 Cl2. Now, if this compound is grey green in color. Now, if the exchange of water takes place, it will become H2O 5 Cl H2O, and this compound is violet or blue in color. In this case, there will be formation of isomer by the exchange of that of a water molecule. So, this is known by the name of hydrate isomerism, or this is known by the name of solvate isomerism. Now, I will discuss one very much important topic that is known by the name of bonding in coordination compounds. The bonding in coordination compound is very much important. Initially, Werner has given its theory, but there were few questions which Werner could not answer. First, why the coordinate bond are having directional properties? Why some of the element form coordination compounds? Why coordination compounds are having magnetic and electrical properties? Now, the large number of theories were later on studies like molecular orbital theory, valence bond theory, crystal field theory, molecular orbital theory. You have already studied in class 11. VSEPR, valence shell electron pair repulsion theory. You have already studied in that of a class 11. Now, I will discuss some aspects of valence bond theory by taking some example. You know that all the coordination compounds show special arrangement. They may be octahedral, they may be tetrahedral, they may be square planar, and this depends upon their hybridization. So I will discuss some examples where there is a formation of octahedral complexes, there is a formation of tetrahedral and square planar complexes. All the d orbital is responsible for the formation of coordination compound. While forming the coordination compound, some element use their inner d orbital, that is n-1 d orbital, and some element use their outer d orbital, that is n d orbital. So let me discuss the cases. The first case in which I will discuss bonding, that is CO NH36 and that of a 3 positive charges. Now, in this case, the cobalt is having oxidation state of 3 and its atomic number is 27. So we will write configuration 3d6 for cobalt. Now let me put these electrons in 3d orbitals, there are total number of 6 electrons present. This is 3d, it is 4s, and it is 4p. Now, there are total number of 6 ligands, and each ligand can add one lone pair of electron, and each ligand can add one lone pair of electron. Now, what will happen that this ligand is responsible for pairing of electrons. This ligand is responsible for pairing of electrons. These electrons will pair up, and these two d orbital, one s orbital and 3 p orbital, that will be only hybridizing together. These orbital and the 6 ligands will add their lone pair of electron 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These ligands will add their lone pair of electron. So the hybridization in this becomes D2 sp3. It is diamagnetic. It is octahedral because there are total number of 6 ligands, and the hybridization is D2sp3. It is using its inner d orbital, that is n-1 d orbital, and this will form a low spin, or that of a only spin paired complex. Now let me take second case where outer d orbital is used, that is CO F6 3 negative. In this case again the cobalt will be having oxidation state of 3. In this case the cobalt will be having oxidation state 3. The same configuration 3d6. So here again I will write d orbital, I will add number of electrons in it. 4s is empty, 4s, 3d, 4p, and then it is a 4d. 1. Now 4d. This ligand cannot pair up electrons. This ligand cannot pair up of electrons. Naturally, the ligand will use outer d orbital for the addition of electrons. These orbitals will be hybridized. The electrons are being added. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it is sp3d2 hybridization. It is also octahedral, but it is paramagnetic. So here outer d orbital is used. Both of them are octahedral. In the first case it is diamagnetic, in the second case it is paramagnetic. Let me take now some example of square planar complexes and that of a. I have to take the example of tetrahedral complexes. Now there is a compound NiCl4 with that of a 2 negative charges. In this case again The atomic number for nickel is 28. If I write its oxidation state, if I calculate, that will comes out to be 2. If I write here, in this case, there will be 8 electrons in this, and the 4s and 4d are empty, and this is having 8 electrons. Now there are total number of 4 ligands. These will combine with each other, and there will be addition of 4 pair of electrons, and the hybridization is known by the name of sp3 hybridization. Now the few examples are left that I will discuss in my next class, that is on Friday. So you go through bonding. I will discuss crystal field theory as well as some more examples of that of a valence bond theory.